we are. I'm Salvatore, and for the 284th time, I try to summarize in this half an hour what the suggest today's liturgy Sunday, May 20, 2018. Suggestions that must then guide me to face the week. I think that sharing this can help me to compare myself with others and receive different comments that can only do well. The Lord gives us different gifts to esteem each other. I greet those who are following me, like people in the live phone and who use the podcast to download from Spreaker or use the YouTube channel. By the way, on YouTube I provide 2 links labeled Part 1 and Part 2, respectively, for the first 15 minutes and the rest. This for one limitation on YouTube. On Spreaker instead, the link is unique and lasts half an hour. I invite you to continue to send me opinion and comments also on Facebook Radio Casa Mia web, where these are also all the icons. Then after the musical break, I will start from today's. See you later.
A beautiful image of the icon. The Spirit unites us and sustains us. Show the Spirit that surrounds the church and people with flames on the heads. Very nice to see. Oh yes, the Holy Spirit is the person of the Trinity, which gives testimony of Jesus in us so that we can give it to others. I thought about it that we spend more time thinking about ourselves than about those around us. We arrive at the end of the day tired and angry because bad words, arguments and pretensions have consumed us inside. Not everyone believes, but everyone they are endowed with reason. Everyone knows how divisions and conflicts are born. Denying solidarity, for example, when we consider unquestionable truths of simple opinions. When we do not recognize the dignity, attitudes these contrary to the healthy reason and therefore to words repelled by everyone. Single and governments, but every day they are practiced with the most different pretexts. With the Holy Spirit next to us, reminding us to always listen to it, we can rejoice whenever we are with a friend. We have inside of us the strength to help those in need. We will arrive at the end of the day with a smile on the face and a joy that makes beat our hearts madly, thinking back to the beautiful things we managed to do. We are thinking of doing that freedom, which implies mutual respect and solidarity, renounces the selfishness that they harm the others, became the usual lifestyle of individuals, then inevitably they would end up establishing themselves even among the nations. Pentecost does not belong to the past, it is always current. We are never alone, but we are happily and faithfully accompanied in the challenges of life, and in the effort to start over after each our fall. And now, we listen to the Gospel of John chapter 21 and verses 20 to 25. This is the disciple who bears witness to these things and read them, and his testimony is true. I like to choose this passage that the liturgy proposed yesterday for an important aspect that should not be underestimated. today's instead it is John 15.26 to 27:16, 12 to 15. The Spirit of truth will guide you to the whole truth. Let's listen though that of yesterday.
Peter turned and saw that the disciple whom Jesus loved was following them. This was the one who had leaned back against Jesus at the supper and said, "Lord, who is going to betray you?" When Peter saw him, he asked, "Lord, what about him?" Jesus answered, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me." Because of this, the rumor spread among the believers that this disciple would not die. But Jesus did not say that he would not die. He only said, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you?" This is the disciple who testifies to these things and who wrote them down. We know that his testimony is true. Jesus did many other things as well. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that even the whole world would not have room for the books that would be written.
Peter is called to follow the Lord without hesitation, a request for explanations. In fact, he says, "Follow me." The sheep is called only to follow the shepherd, to walk in his presence. A single moment of separation from the shepherd, and the sheep is already lost. Jesus proceeds and the disciple moves forward in the footsteps of the Master. The vocation does not happen only at the time of the initial call, but every day and every moment. The first weakness of Peter and of whoever is called to follow the Master, the weakness of all, is doubt, and then also fear, and I would say that enthusiasm can also be a weakness, when it is not based on humility and God's help. Confidence with God is able to talk better and more sincerely. In these times of rabid dogs, in which we all look at each other with diffidence, we are called to become credible witnesses of forgiveness, capable of loving and to give oneself and to look with understanding and mercy those who make mistakes like us because we are first forgiven. We will pass, perhaps, by fools, but believe me, this is the logic capable of undermining the world. We avoid the scandals to contradict with our life the gospel so as not to make it ineffective, to close oneself in one's now is enough with me he has closed. This leads slowly and inevitably to hatred and closes to love. Sometimes just talking to each other, sincerity to overcome misunderstandings, just ask for explanations or even keep quiet and drop and smile. The life of our brothers rests entirely on our straight, wise, prudent conduct. We will not be discouraged and we place all our hope in the Lord. I then add that Jesus as risen gives his disciples his own Spirit, the same that he gives already on the cross when he rendered the Spirit, the same that gave order at the creation to chaos. The disciples know that they must evangelize, but they struggle, but letting the Spirit act have done that we, in 2018, continue to talk about Jesus. The Spirit lives in our hearts to make us testify that Jesus is God. He makes us do what we cannot do. We must make it act. We live in a world that is based on the ambiguity, on not trusting, on showing ourselves always the best part, on hiding the less bright part. The Spirit makes us change our way of thinking and acting. If your way of seeing faith or to relate to others or the priest has not changed compared to 5 years ago, something wrong. You did not leave the helm to God. Of course, the big changes, we do not appreciate them. But let's do it to the Spirit that comes. During a wedding in the homily I heard something that struck me and that is well suited to what was meditated first. We must discover the power of love, the redeeming power of love, and when we do so, we will be able to make this new world a new world. Love is the only way, focused on the power of love, human being who finds his source in God. We were created by power of love. And our lives are destined to be lived in that love. The source of love is God himself, the source of all our lives. Because love is of God, and those who love are born of God and know God. Those who do not love do not know God. Why? Because God is love. There is an innate power. Think and imagine a world in which love is the way. Imagine our homes and families when love is the way. Imagine neighborhoods and communities where love is the way. Imagine governments and nations where love is the way. Imagine business and commerce when love is the way. Imagine this tired old world when love is the way. Because when love is the way, it's actually there we treat each other well. As if we were actually a family. Love is the way we know that God is the source of all of us. And we are children of God, brothers and sisters. This is a new paradise, one new earth, a new world, a new human family. As I said before, I listened to him while on television yesterday. An American bishop in the